We all fell in love with the video of Shiloh dancing.
Yeah.
Bro,
I know, me too.
that girl is bad.
Yeah, it brings a tear to the eye.
Could you imagine deciding to legally change your name on your 18th birthday? That's exactly what Shiloh Jolie-Pitt did, making a bold statement by dropping Pitt from her last name and adopting Jolie as her surname. Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt are back in the spotlight, but the focus is on their daughter Shiloh, who made a striking decision on her 18th birthday. She chose to legally drop Pitt from her last name, now identifying solely as Shiloh Jolie. Let's dig a bit deeper. On May 27th, coinciding with her birthday, Shiloh made it official by filing legal documentation to drop Pitt from her last name. Yeah, she took the reins, hired her own lawyer and paid for it all by herself. Now, why would Shiloh take such a significant step? Well, sources suggest it's tied to allegations of past abuse with the Jolie-Pitt household. These are no light claims and they seem to have impacted the kids deeply. Shiloh isn't the only one asserting her independence by changing her name. Zahara and Vivian, her sisters, have also opted to go by Jolie. Zahara introduced herself with the new surname at a college sorority, and Vivian's name appeared as Vivian Jolie in a Broadway playbill. Back in the summer of 2016, 2 years after Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt tied the knot, the crack started to show. Angelina shared with Vanity Fair in 2017 cover story that things got bad, explaining that the difficulties they faced were so intense it took a toll on her health. She developed hypertension and Bell's palsy, a condition where muscles on one side of her face began to droop. Luckily, acupuncture came to her rescue. Ever heard of the saying, sometimes women put themselves last until it manifests in their own health? That's exactly what Angelina reflected on during her health ordeal. Fast forward to September 2016 and the tension reached a new peak, with an incident on a private aircraft that grabbed headlines. Well, it was serious enough to remain under wraps until 2022, when details emerged thanks to an FBI report released following a lawsuit for information. Here's what happened. During a 2-week trip that concluded at Los Angeles International Airport, it was reported that Brad criticised Angelina's parenting, making a harsh comment suggesting that one of their children resembled a Colombian kid. This comment initiated a heated argument at the back of the plane. According to an FBI report, the situation escalated physically as Brad reportedly grabbed Angelina by the head and shook her head, and then directed his anger towards the plane, punching the ceiling multiple times. One of their children witnessed this and asked if Angelina was okay, only to have Brad respond loudly that no, she was not okay, accusing her of ruining the family and calling her lazy. The altercation didn't stop there. It was alleged that Brad spilt wine and beer on both the furniture and on Angelina, who was under a blanket with their children. When the plane landed, they remained behind while Brad stormed off the plane, shouting obscenities and declaring he was leaving them. Later on, in a cross-complaint filed in 2022, Angelina revealed more distressing details of the day. She claimed that Brad did not physically assault her, but also choked one of the children and struck another in the face. Despite the severity of the allegations, no criminal charges were brought against Brad. However, this incident was the tipping point for Angelina. Just days after, on September 19, she filed for divorce, as reported by the Associated Press. After Angelina Jolie filed for divorce, Brad Pitt found himself under the sharp scrutiny of the Department of Child and Family Services. But here's a turn. By November 2016, he was cleared of any child abuse charges, according to NBC News. In the same period, Brad and Angelina had agreed to a temporary custody arrangement facilitated by the Department of Children and Family Services. Both took a step towards mending gaps by agreeing to individual counselling. Brad took significant steps towards self-improvement. He quit drinking and started attending Alcoholics Anonymous. As 2016 wound down and the new year approached, the custody battle between Jolie and Pitt intensified. Brad filed for joint custody, sparking more legal debates over the children's schedules. His lawyers pushed for additional therapy sessions, hoping to pave the way for Brad to spend holidays with the kids. Eventually, in December, as reported by ET and The Guardian, Jolie was granted physical custody, while Brad was permitted therapeutic visits as determined by the family therapist. Then, in early 2017, both Brad and Angelina decided to dial down the public spectacle. They released a joint statement agreeing to keep their divorce proceedings under wraps. They chose to engage a private judge to make any necessary legal decisions, aiming to resolve any lingering issues swiftly. The statement emphasised their commitment to a unified front to foster recovery and reunification. By May 2017, Brad was ready to share his thoughts on the split. In a revealing interview with GQ, he expressed feelings of loneliness, with only his bulldog, Jax, for company. He reflected deeply, noting that he could see how one spouse may not recognise their own role in a breakup and might still be trying to compete with or even destroy the other. He admitted that such behaviour leads to vindication through destruction and years wasted in hatred, and he expressed a desire not to live in that manner. Meanwhile, Angelina shared her insights into a 2017 Vanity Fair story. She discussed the healing process for her and the children following the divorce, indicating that they were all recovering from the events that led to the filing. She commended the children for their bravery during such a difficult time. It was evident that both Brad and Angelina were finding their own ways to navigate the challenges they faced, each coping with the repercussions of their tumultuous split in their own manner. In August 2018, Angelina Jolie stirred the pot regarding child support. According to a legal brief in Los Angeles Superior Court, Brad Pitt hadn't contributed any meaningful child support since separation. This claim, unearthed by NBC News, shook things up, while Jolie sought a retroactive child support order. The arrangements up to that point had been pretty informal. Their joint property, the Chateau Miraval winery, purchased for about €25 million back in 2008. This winery wasn't just any investment, it symbolised their union and became a battleground as their relationship unravelled. In 2021, Jolie expressed her intention to sell her share, citing its deep sentimental value and painful memories linked to their split in September 2016. Pitt initially agreed to buy Jolie's share for $54.5 million in February, but as their custody dispute reignited, the deal fell through. Jolie then sold her share to Yuri Shelfer for a whopping $67 million. In May 2021, the custody battle saw a momentary lift for Pitt when he was granted joint custody, but the celebration was short-lived. An appeal court soon favoured Jolie, disqualifying the judge over undisclosed connections with Pitt's attorney. As 2022 rolled in, more revelations came to light. The FBA documents concerning the notorious 2016 aeroplane altercation were released. That October, Jolie incorporated allegations of Pitt's abusive behaviour during that flight into a legal battle concerning the winery, marking the first time she publicly defended her stance due to Pitt's lawsuit, which she perceived as a financial control tactic. Jolie's legal team argued that she always aimed to protect their children from revisiting that traumatic event. Yet, with Pitt pushing her into a corner, she was forced to confront these issues publicly for the first time. Shiloh Jolie-Pitt, now 18, grabbed headlines by enrolling at Spelman College and joining Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, boldly using the surname Jolie, clearly distancing herself from the Pitt name. In December 2023, Jolie revealed plans to relocate from Los Angeles to Cambodia, citing the prolonged divorce proceedings as a limited factor on her lifestyle. "I will move when I can," she stated, looking forward to more freedom and a new chapter in her life. Come April 2024, the plot thickened with new court filings from Jolie's team. They claimed Pitt's alleged physical abuse wasn't confined to just the 2016 incident, but had occurred earlier. They sought to unveil communication showing Pitt's insistence on Jolie signing a restrictive non-disclosure agreement before agreeing to buy her winery shares. Pitt's team remained silent on these new allegations but had previously dismissed similar claims. They highlighted his clearance from a 2016 investigation by the Department of Child and Family Services as proof of his innocence. However, a source close to Pitt suggests that the timing of Jolie's allegations was strategic, meaning to distract from unfavourable legal outcomes. Despite everything, a source defended Pitt by pointing out that a judge, after examining their entire relationship history, still awarded him 50-50 custody. This, they argue, indicated that the evidence, or lack thereof, favoured Pitt. Responding, Jolie's lawyers argue that the core of their ongoing legal dispute revolves around the non-disclosure agreement, which Pitt used to try and silence Jolie. By refusing to purchase her share without the NDA, Pitt effectively forced these issues onto the open. Mr. Pitt put directly at issue why the NDA was so important to him and what he hoped it would bury: his abuse of Miss Jolie and their family. Jolie's attorney stated, pressing the court to compel Pitt to provide evidence supporting Jolie's claim. What's your take on Shiloh's decision to change her last name and the ongoing Jolie-Pitt saga? Do you think these family tensions will unfold? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more insightful updates.